Funerals are being held for 13 Syrians killed during an Israeli raid in the southern Syrian village of Beit Jin. The Israeli military says its troops were targeting members of an armed group there when both sides exchanged gunfire. Residents say Israeli forces killed civilians, including a family of 5. 6 Israeli soldiers and at least 25 Syrians were injured. The Israeli troops have been evacuated. Villagers are fleeing the area as Israeli drones now fly overhead.
Israel is a despicable terror state, and President Donald Trump is pretending like he's concerned about it. Cenk, what are your 2 cents?
Yeah, so Israel's occupying a portion of Syria. Did you guys even know that? National media is covering that up. This was outside of the area they're already occupying, so it was illegal in 2 different ways. But Israel reserves the right to invade any neighbor and attack any country and kill any of their citizens. The question is are we going to aid and abet that? The answer historically has been overwhelmingly yes. In this case, Trump is claiming that he's not going to. Let's find out.
Now, officials inside the White House are allegedly alarmed. Ooh, they're so alarmed by Israel's continued military operations inside Syria. Because what, you thought that they weren't capable of that? I mean, they've slaughtered tens of thousands of people in Gaza. They're annexing land in Lebanon. They're annexing land in the West. This is part and parcel of what Israel is. But yeah, sure, they're very, very concerned. They're alarmed by it. Now, as you probably saw in that video, the IDF carried out a raid in Syria that killed 13 people. Unsurprisingly, many of them happen to be civilians. Again, part and parcel of what Israel is. This is their identity. But what are they actually alarmed about? Like, is it enough alarm to actually do something about it? I doubt it. So, as we know, Donald Trump has gotten incredibly cozy with a so-called former Al-Qaeda terrorist, Ahmed al-Shara, who is now the leader of Syria. Now, Israel used al-Shara's takeover as the excuse to essentially invade southwestern Syria and take land. And they've been occupying that land ever since. That's why the proxy war that took place in Syria sought to overthrow Bashar al-Assad. It was really about the various international actors, whether you're talking about Turkey or Israel, wanting a piece of Syrian land. So since the fall of Assad in December of last year, 2024, Israeli forces have occupied a piece of southern Syria that was previously a UN patrolled buffer zone under a 1974 disengagement agreement. Trump, meanwhile, hoped that al-Shara would engage in the peace process with Israel. But the latest IDF raid complicates things a little bit, right? The airstrikes that killed 13 people, unsurprisingly, infuriated the Syrian government and led to calls for retaliation against Israel. I mean, look, al-Shara has bowed his head to Israel. And as Israel has annexed land from Syria, he's basically sat by and allowed it to happen. So I'm not really a big believer that al-Shara is going to put a stop to what Israel is doing. That's laughable to say the least. But US officials say that Israel didn't even give them any prior warning about the military operation. Why would they? We're Israel's bitch. Trump is Israel's bitch. And by the way, Biden was Israel's bitch. Obama was Israel's bitch. This country is occupied by a foreign country, and that happens to be Israel. With that in mind, now the Trump administration is concerned that Israel's repeated strikes inside Syria risk destabilizing the country and undermining hopes of an Israel-Syria security agreement, 2 senior US officials tell Axios. These anonymous government officials say that Benjamin Netanyahu's belligerence has become a major liability. Syria doesn't want problems with Israel. This isn't Lebanon. Oh, so Lebanon wants problems with Israel? Because my understanding is the government of Lebanon is trying to do anything and everything necessary to appease Israel, but it's never enough. And disarming Hezbollah, which is what Israel is demanding, could lead to a massive civil war in Lebanon, which honestly I think Israel wants. We are trying to tell Bibi he has to stop this, because if he continues, he will self-destruct, miss a huge diplomatic opportunity, and turn the new Syrian government into an enemy. They don't care about friendship with the Syrian government. They want the land. Like, what a joke. Cenk, jump in, please.
Yeah. So look, this has been the same pattern in the Middle East since 1948. The Arabs, because they're so vicious, have attacked Israel over and over again. And they've killed at a 10 to 1, 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1 ratio. And they've taken more and more Israeli land. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it's the exact opposite. Did the American media ever explain to you guys that, well, there's all this talk of the Arabs and that they're such terrorists and they're the worst, etc. No, Israel has attacked in 1948, 1967, and now they've used October 7th in the beginning as legitimate defense and then later as an excuse to take half of Gaza. They have 53% of it, to take a portion of Lebanon, take a portion of Syria. All they ever do is attack, take land. So this whole conversation is nonsense. They're like, oh, it's weird because it's Israel said they wanted to disarm Hezbollah and Hamas that were in Syria, but they don't exist in Syria anymore. They've been wiped out. And they barely even existed in the first place, but Syria was mainly used as a conduit to get weapons to Lebanon. Okay, Israel's upset about that, I get that, right? But okay, those roads are destroyed, Hamas and Hezbollah are destroyed, they have peace with Syria, so why are they still going? Because it was never about peace, and it was never about Hamas or Hezbollah. It was always about land. It's not complicated, that's what Israel does every single time. Claim to be the victim, slaughter at 10, 100, or 1,000 times the rate of their neighbors that they get into a conflict with. They murder so many more Arabs than Israelis are harmed. Like, again, sometimes 1,000 to 1 ratio. Kill, 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 and take their land. And so that's what they're doing in Syria. They're taking more land. I solved it. It's not complicated at all. That's what they're doing in Lebanon. That's what they did in Gaza. They're annexing the West Bank right now. Our media almost never talks about it. They already voted to annex the West Bank. They already voted to eliminate the Palestinians and never allow them to exist as a state. So that's the vicious Israeli government that constantly wants war so they can acquire more land. And they think, look, we neutered all of these people. We used America to destroy the militaries of all of our neighbors, so now they can't resist us at all. And then ironically, we'll say they're not disarmed enough. I'm going to take more of their land in an effort to disarm them for self-defense. There's no self-defense at all happening in Syria. It's the warmonger Israeli state that is acquiring more land of its neighbors, as all fascist imperial empires do. Now we get to the specifics of Trump's strategy, and there's one important thing you guys got to know about. That's a resignation in the Israeli government that might make a huge difference. I'll get to that in a second, but Anna, what did you want to say?
Well, let me present what Trump is saying, okay? Because I haven't even gotten to that. In a post on Truth Social yesterday, he praised Syria's new leader. Remember, this is a guy who was fighting our soldiers, our troops in Iraq as an Al-Qaeda terrorist. I want to be clear about that, but nonetheless, he's praising him now on social media. So he says that the United States is very satisfied with the results displayed through hard work and determination in the country of Syria. We are doing everything within our power to make sure the government of Syria continues to do what was intended, which is substantial in order to build a true and prosperous country. One of the things that has helped them greatly was my termination of very strong and biting sanctions. I believe this was truly appreciated by Syria, its leadership, and its people. It is very important that Israel maintain a strong and true dialogue with Syria, and that nothing takes place that will interfere with Syria's evolution into a prosperous state. The new president of Syria, Ahmed al-Shara, is working diligently to make sure good things happen and that both Syria and Israel will have a long and prosperous relationship together. This is a historic opportunity and adds to the success already attained for peace in the Middle East. By the way, before you comment on the Syria angle, Cenk, let me just show you what the peace in the Middle East looks like under the heavy influence of Israel. The IDF just shot and killed an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old in Gaza, claiming that these little children who were trying to gather firewood for their grandfather who's wheelchair bound had crossed the yellow line. But there's no evidence of that, number one. But more importantly, they referred to these kids as a threat, an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. And there are more and more stories now coming out about how the IDF keeps killing Palestinians by claiming that they crossed the yellow line into the 53% of the territory that they're now occupying. But that wasn't actually the case. They didn't even come close to crossing the yellow line. I'll tell you what peace in the Middle East looks like when Israel has engaged in a ceasefire. They bomb Beirut, which also recently happened. They kill entire families in the middle of a so-called ceasefire. There is no peace in the Middle East with this Israeli government and the current Israeli culture essentially reigning supreme in that region of the world. That's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah, they're supremacists and they think we are more important, our lives are more valuable than Arab lives. Arabs are fodder for our war machine, and killing Arab children is Tuesday for the IDF. Remember all the American doctors that came home horrified of all the sniper shots to children under 5 years old, headshots, chest shots. IDF is a terrorist organization and we fund those terrorists. So now let's go to al-Shara. So I don't know what to make of him. Israel's mad at him. Apparently he hasn't bowed enough to them. If you have any dignity at all, Israel despises you. You must surrender all of your dignity, pride, respect, life, everything to Israel. Otherwise they don't feel safe and they'll murder you. But on the other hand, to Anna's point, we previously had a $10 million bounty on his head. He was not a minor Al-Qaeda figure. He was a major Al-Qaeda figure. Now we're told that we have to murder so-called narco-terrorists, i.e. fishermen off the coast of Venezuela, because they're so dangerous. But a guy who had a $10 million bounty on his head because he was leader of Al-Qaeda in the area, now we're good friends with. So guys, it isn't about terrorism. All of that stuff is just a smokescreen for what the powerful actually want. So what does Trump want out of al-Shara? Probably deals with Arab countries, okay?
Yep.
And that's why he's supporting it. Israel's mad because they're like, how dare you have deals with any country that is not named Israel? You are to be our dog and servant, okay? And now what is Trump doing? He's doing the Biden strategy. Oh, I had a call with Netanyahu. I was so mad at him. And then afterwards, I sent him a blank check from the American taxpayers. I am so tough on Israel. Same exact thing Biden did, okay?
Yep.
No, you're not tough at all. You're a weakling, you're a coward, and you're groveling at the feet of Netanyahu. I don't know what's in the golden pager. I don't know what he whispered to you the last time he came, but at the end of this dramatic call where he upbraids Netanyahu, just like Joe Biden did, he says, can you come back for a 5th time, pretty please, to the White House? I haven't kissed your ass enough. So is there a real conflict? I don't know. At the end of the day, Israel's gonna order Trump to do something, and Trump is going to do it. That's what's happened every single time, with one exception, in my lifetime, for every American president, Democrat or Republican. But mainstream media missed it. They're like, oh, what? I can't, who's in charge? I can't tell. It's probably the terrorists that are the real problem. Israel's seeking self-defense. They literally say that. They're so maniacal. They're so detached from reality. Who took the land? Do the Arabs have it? Do the Palestinians have it? Or do the Israelis have it? Oh, right, the Israelis took all the land. I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Just to give you a sense of how aggressive Trump was in that call, Barak Ravid, who was an IDF soldier, and you should just know that, a US official said Trump told Netanyahu to take it easy when it comes to military action in Syria and not provoke the Syrian president or government.
That's Biden-like toughness.
What a tough guy. He's being a little bitch. Anyway, that does it for that story. We got to take a break. When we come back,
wait. I promise on one thing, Anna, real quick. So, guys, Ron Dermer left the Israeli government just a couple of days ago. Ron Dermer is a smart Israeli radical. And it seemed to me that he thought, let's take our winnings off the table here. We got half of Gaza like we wanted. We're occupying Lebanon and Syria like we wanted. We destroyed Hamas and Hezbollah like we wanted. And America's gonna keep giving us tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. let's take our winnings and go home. Let's wrap it up. That's the sense I got from the reporting. If Dermer left the Israeli administration, which he did, that probably means that Netanyahu is now unchained. And so what he's going to do is first cause tremendous damage to the region, then to the Israel-America relationship, and then to Jews across the world, and then to Israel itself. Because when you are filled with this much hubris, and you won't listen to rational actors, who by the way are not any better than you. I mean, just as evil to say, let's take our genocidal winnings off the table, but at least smart. No, you're gonna go in an extreme direction and you're gonna get not just us and the Palestinians, of course, but Israel in a ton of trouble. So that's Netanyahu, who's totally and utterly out of control, and no American president will rein him in because they're servants of his. And last thing on it, both Trump and Biden keep, and in the entire national press, keep wondering, well, what could they do about Netanyahu? As if it's like a big mystery. Cut the funding. Is that really that's complicated? All of you geniuses couldn't figure that out? Cut the goddamn funding. But to them, serving Israel is not a question. America must give Israel every dollar that he asks for us, so they don't even consider it an option. So they're like, what can we do as we're funneling them billions of dollars? Oh, gee, I can't tell. No, that means you work for Israel, period.
If Trump signs on to the 20-year MOU, meaning 20 years of guaranteed US military funding for Israel, by the time that deal ends, I will be 60 years old.
No, that's a robbery. Even if they sign it, I will do everything in my power to make sure we reverse that.
Sorry, you don't matter.
No, the American people have to matter at some point. The right wing and the left wing and the center, all of us say enough already, enough. And what our politicians and our media say, we don't care about you Americans at all. We all work for Israel and you'll pay Israel until you're dead. And then you owe them and you better give them more money, and 300 billion isn't enough, 30 billion for a genocide isn't enough. Go back to work and work for Israel. That's what our media says, that's what our politicians say. And yes, at some point, the American people are gonna have enough of this. And they're gonna rise up and then, oh no, they don't like people from Israel. Gee, I wonder why. Shut up and give us more money, they say. Okay, no. At some point, you're gonna poke the wrong bear. And that's what Netanyahu is in the middle of doing right now. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.